I'm keeping this makeup look really simple, but I always have to use SPF before I put anything else on my skin. This is the Kosas Dream Beam SPF. I'll apply a generous amount. This offers a subtle glow. I also want to make sure I apply a little extra to the tops of my cheeks. That's where I have the most sun damage, so I want to make sure that that's extra protected. While we wait for the SPF to melt into the skin, I'll use a little clear brow gel. I'm not going to fill in my brows. For this look, we're keeping it simple, so we'll just fluff up the brow. If it's too fluffy, I'll take my finger and run it along the top. I'll zoom in for the eye look. To prep my eyes for eyeshadow, I'll be using the face pencil in shade 5. I'll rub it on my finger and then press it onto my eyelid. You could just do this and not put any shadow on. This can just help with brightening out and evening the eyelids. I love adding a little shimmer to the eyes, so I'll go ahead and use the Just a Sec in Baby Pink. This is a really pretty shade if you have blue eyes. You could use the pad of your finger to apply this, or you could use a brush. If you don't have long nails, you can just use your finger and pat it onto the eye, but my nails are a little too long, so I'll use a little brush. This is a dense, small brush, just picking up the pigment. This is a really finely milled shimmer. If you have more mature skin and you're worried about using shimmer on the eyes, this will still look really beautiful on your eyes because the shimmer is so finely milled. This texture is also a velvety, cushiony texture. It's not really a powder and it's not really a cream. It's kind of an in-between. This is a great one and done eyeshadow, which is why it's the perfect summer eyeshadow look, because you can just use your finger and swipe it across your lid. I'm also packing on the color because I really want a punchy, sparkly eye. This also looks really pretty in the sun. I won't be doing any eyeliner, but I am gonna curl my lashes and do a few coats of mascara. I personally always have to use mascara in any of my basic eyeshadow looks. Mascara is a game changer for me. If I do nothing else, I have to do a few swipes of mascara. This is the Jones Road mascara. It's a pretty large wand. I'm also doing 1 to 2 coats. I won't layer a bunch on. This mascara is more of a thickening mascara, not necessarily a lengthening. If you like a lengthening mascara, look for a really thin wand. A thinner wand will help with lengthening. A thicker wand, like this one, will be more volumizing. I also always like to apply the coats while they're damp. It's easier to build that way than onto a dry lash. That's the eyes complete. Moving on to the face, I'll use the Tinted Moisturizer. You don't have to put this much on, but I have a lot of discoloration that I really want to even out. This is the shade Ivory, by the way. It leans more yellow than neutral, I'd say. I think I put a little too much of that on, but I just blended it out. So this is what Tinted Moisturizer is looking like on my skin. It added a radiant finish without looking too shiny. For a little extra coverage on my under eyes, I'll use the face pencil in shade 5. Just putting a little bit on, not too much. I also like to put a little on the corners of my mouth. I have a few little dark spots on my chin and also on my cheeks. You can also put a little face pencil on the corner of your eyes to help lift the eyes. You can also let this sit for a few minutes. This can help maximize your coverage, but I'll go ahead and use the warmth of my hands and blend this out. I always prefer using my ring finger on the under eyes just because this is more delicate, lighter skin, and your ring finger is the least strong. That just kind of helped brighten up the under eyes a little bit. Because it's the warm summer months, instead of using Miracle Balm as a blush, I'll be using the Lip and Cheek Stick. This offers more pigment and it's also more lightweight. I have the shade English Rose. I'll rub a little bit on my finger, warming up the product, and then we'll tap it onto the cheeks. You can also use this on the lips. This is a beautiful springy summer color. It's a subtle rosy pink tone. If I were to put a Miracle Balm over this, I think Pinched Cheeks, Dusty Rose, or Flushed would all look really pretty with this. I like tapping it right on the top of the cheek and then blending toward the temple. Whatever's left over on your hand, you could put on the forehead, down the neck, Pink tone blushes also will help blue eyes pop. I feel like I can't do a summer look without some sort of bronzing color. I'll be using the Miracle Balm in Sunkissed. You could use your hands, but I'll use the everything brush. I'm just dipping into the product. I'll put this on the top of my forehead. If it ever looks too pigmented, you can either press with your hands, keep blending it out. This is just gonna give us a little warmth because that sunscreen is protecting our skin, not really giving us much color. Still wanna look bronzed for the summer months. Take it down the neck. I'm just putting a little bit of this on, not too much. If you wanna keep it really lightweight, you could also just use a powder bronzer to warm up the skin rather than Miracle Balm, but my skin's been kind of dry lately, so I'm opting for this instead of a powder bronzer. This completes my summer makeup routine. Just helps brighten everything up. It'll probably take you 5 minutes at home. I think the Tinted Moisturizer really helps with the breathability of the products. The lip and cheek stick is also great to have because you could use it on your lips and the cheeks, of course. It's a creamy option, but not too heavy. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this easy, everyday summer makeup look, and I'll see you in my next video.